CNN News18 exclusive when we first brought to you exclusive documents that spoke of how the Waqf in fact claimed the land of as many as 41 farmers in Vijaypura, and with the documents out in public domain, now the Karnataka government, remember, has attempted to damage control by saying that none of the farmers will have to face the brunt of the notices which were in fact issued to them. In the latest, we've also brought to the fore the allegations against Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan. We've obtained a video from Waqf Adalat meetings on the 7th and the 8th of October showing him instructing officials to review the progress within 45 days. Following these meetings, RTC mutations began, adding the Waqf name to the record. So that's how it all started, with some sort of pressure that seems to have been mounted by the minister concerned. In light of these allegations, BJP Karnataka President B.Y. Vijendra has assembled a team to address farmers' concerns related to the Waqf Board Act. In fact, a BJP delegation also visited Vijaypura today to connect with families impacted by these land disputes. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi also questioned Waqf, saying they were accumulating assets in the name of God. In the meanwhile, we've seen another twist coming in from MB Patil, the senior minister, who's released documents claiming notices were issued to farmers during BJP regime between 2019 and 2013. So there are several aspects to this story that we managed to access. But the first big impact came in after the mega exclusive by CNN News18, wherein we showed you these documents right on your screens, which reveal the manner in which all of these land records, at least of 41 farmers' properties in Vijaypura, were claimed by the Waqf board in no time. And the government, following this, has acknowledged its mistake, has decided to cancel the mutation, restarting the process to ensure proper compliance. Listen in to the big reactions that have come in on the story.
बहुत सालों से 10-15 साल से खाते बनाने के वास्ते दिए थे। 80 पर कर्जा खाते क्या खाता बनाना कर को आको है 330 पर दर्जा हमने टोटल यहाँ आज बीजापुर के अंदर टोटल 330 पर दर्जा यहाँ आको ही हमने हमें जो वफ़ अदालत कर रही खाली तुमने अर्जियां ले ले को जाको डस्टबिन में डालने के वास्ते ये वफ़ अदालत नहीं कर रही। वफ़ अदालत के बाद क्या करते हमें दूसरे दिन कंसल्ट डिपार्टमेंट की मीटिंग करती, उनको 1 महीने का डेडलाइन देती हमें। हमारे प्रॉब्लम है 1 महीने के अंदर तुम्हें सॉल्व करना अगर को। जैसा कि बिदर के अंदर टोटल हमने 60% खाते दिए थे, 380% खाते की पेंडिंग थे। तुम्हें यकीन नहीं मानते 310 खाते बना को हैंड ओवर हमने कर डाली। टोटल हमें वफ़ अदालत करने के बाद टोटल हमारे किसके अंदर वफ़ अदालत करने के बाद टोटल 727 खाते बना को ही।
ಯಾವ ರೈತರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಪ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನೆ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರು ಮತ್ತೆ MB ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಅವರು, ಬಿಜಾಪುರ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮಂತ್ರಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ವಕ್ಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಜಮೀರ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ಅವರು 3 ಜನ ಜಂಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಿಜಾಪುರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೈತರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಪ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ರೈತರು ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ನೋಟಿಸನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
Internal party issues are different. That will handle it separately. But the matter is, when poor farmers who have been cultivating these lands from 50-100 years, what was the necessity for the bureaucrats to issue the notice to the farmers? And the documents clearly shows in the parnis of the lands, it's been mentioned as a work property. Why all of a sudden this issue has arisen? It's only because of the dirty politics played by the ruling Congress party. So hence our legal team, our experts team, have already reached Bijapur today. They will be traveling all across Bijapur district, meeting all the farmers who are in trouble, and will extend our complete support to the farmers in this issue.
I want to go across to my colleague Siddharth joining us live with more details. Siddharth, help us explain, help us understand the position of the Congress government in Karnataka. Because, you know, we've seen MB Patil earlier talk about the manner in which the Tehsildar of the region did, commit this mistake and how they're going to recall the decision. On the other hand, we have MB Patil once again, raking this, escalating with the BJP by saying that notices were also issued to the farmers during the BJP tenure from 2019 to 2023.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this just, seems like, since they're batting a lot of allegations, this is just a counter of sorts. They are trying to push the pressure back, put the pressure back on the BJP because, they're facing a lot of allegations, for all their pro-farmer stance. Sending notices in this regard, notices being sent under such pressure is definitely a questionable thing. And now, they're trying to defend that. The BJP has come down hard on this. There is visible proof, there's clear proof that, notices were sent. And now they're trying to put it's a procedural lapse and action would be taken. But yes, this counter allegation could just seem like, tit for tat. Again, it raises the question, what are you going to do about clearly answering the procedural lapses now? They have admitted, it's a lapse and they're going to act upon this. But again, this is just acting on a low-level officer, a low-level revenue officer like the Tehsildar and, just pinning the blame on it. So to what extent, this move would work is something that remains to be, seen.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the demand being raised by the Bharatiya Janata Party seeking the resignation of Minister Zamir Ahmed, because we have obtained that video from the 7th and 8th of October of the Waqf Adalat, and clearly he seems to be exerting some sort of pressure on the officials to expedite the entire process. So that's also being spoken of by the BJP, isn't it?
Oh yes, so this continues. The BJP is applying pressure. It has also demanded, over the course of several such allegations, several such controversies, the BJP has demanded the resignation of ministers, the resignation of CM Siddaramaiah, and this is yet another minister, they're demanding the resignation of. The party is clearly upset that a minister, goes about, they've claimed that, he's gone about boasting how, post his visits, lands have been registered under the Waqf, and they're not happy with this. They see this as clear appeasement politics, and they've gone to the extent of questioning how a minister can just claim lands under the Waqf's name, and making such statements that lands were being bought for the sake of Allah, and statements like that is something that the BJP is clearly refuting, and they're very unhappy with the fact that notices were sent just days after Zamir Ahmed Khan held a meeting in Vijaypura. So yes, they are demanding the resignation of the Waqf Welfare Minister Zamir Ahmed Khan in this regard, and believe this is the right step in the action. Right now they are resolute in making sure that amendments take place, but they do believe this is the brazen violation of rules, and the fact that misuse of power is taking place when a minister sitting in such a post boasts about how after his visits Waqf land has been registered.
Oh yes, absolutely. The BJP of the opinion that this is born out of appeasement politics practiced by the Congress party. Earlier today, a BJP delegation also did visit Vijaypura to meet some of the villagers, some of the farmers who were left impacted by these notices. But speaking of the BJP, let's also listen into the several other reactions that have come in from the Saffron party.
ಅಲ್ಲಾಗ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಇತ್ತಂತಾನೆ ಏನಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಾನ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳೋದೇನದಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಬೋಗಸ್ ಇದು ಇವರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಾನ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ತಥ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ನಾವೇನು ಅಲ್ಲಾನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವಿರೋದು ಅಲ್ಲಾನ ಹೆಸರಿನಾಗ ಯಾರು ನೀವು ಬದ್ಮಾಶಿಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ನಾವಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಆಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲ ಭಾರತವ್ರನ್ನ
ऑफिसरों को धमकी दिया जाके आप डिक्लेयर करना नहीं है तो आरटीसी में दाखिल करना नहीं है तो आपको ऊपर कार्रवाई होगा, ऐसा धमकी दिया। वो झूठा आरोप कर रहा है, सच उनको भी मालूम है बट सच एक्सेप्ट करने का हिम्मत नहीं है उनको। आपका प्रॉपर्टी ऐसा डिक्लेयर कर सकता है क्या? ऐसा किया है बीजापुर में। निजाम का राज्य रहा है ना, वो सबको वो बोलता है निज़ाम रूलिंग किया, उसके वजह से वो पूरा प्रॉपर्टी वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी, ऐसा जमीर का आर्ग्यूमेंट है।
MB Patil minister has said that BJP too issued notices and under the BJP government too notices were issued to farmers from the Waqf board. What do you have to say to this? And he has also presented proof in this.
देखिए, मुझे पता नहीं बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट कब था, उस समय ऐसे वक्फ बोर्ड का असेट है बोल के नोटिस दिए तो उसका भी ठीक करिए। मुझे कुछ उसमें किसानों को प्रॉब्लम करना हमारे राय नहीं है। इसलिए मैं क्या बोलना चाहता हूँ, MB पाटिल ठीक से कहा, नहीं, किसान लोगों को प्रॉब्लम करने के लिए हम कुछ भी सहन नहीं करेंगे। लेकिन उनका गवर्नमेंट का, कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट का मिनिस्टर जमीर अहमद ने बार बार का बोल रहा है, और गुलबर्गा में, बीजापुर में, धारवाड़ में कहाँ जा गए हैं मिनिस्टर जमीर अहमद, वहाँ बोले हैं, ठीक करके बोला है, प्रेजरली विथ वेरी थंब से बोला है, जमीन वक्फ बोर्ड का है, किसानों का नहीं है। अगर किसानों का है तो क्यों नोटिस देते हैं? इसलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी डिमांड करता है जमीर अहमद को इमीडिएटली इस्तीफ़ा लेना चाहिए, नहीं तो हम छोड़ने वाले नहीं है। पूरा स्टेट में किसान लोगों को लेकर हम आंदोलन करेंगे। 1 एकड़ 1 इंच भूमि वक्फ बोर्ड को नहीं जाना है।
We have always been maintaining that the Congress has been doing appeasement politics, not just in Karnataka, all over the country, and there are various examples of how the Congress has gone about it, including a statement of the then Prime Minister of India, where he said that the Muslims have the first rights in this country. So this has been their policy, to appease, and at whose cost is the question today. Today the farmers of Karnataka are suffering. They do not know if their land belongs to them or is already taken over by the Waqf board. The BJP will stand with the people of Karnataka and with the farmers of Karnataka. We have already formed a committee which will go into the various details of how the case in Vijaypura has come up, as well as all over the state.
In Waqf scam, Zamir Ahmad, the Waqf minister, Revenue Minister Krishna Bairegowda, and Discharge in charge Minister MB Patil have done the press conference just to blame the officials, Tahsildar, RI, Shirastidar and other people. Apparently, does Tahsildar have so much of power in Karnataka according to Karnataka Land Revenue Acts? Without the notice of the concerned minister, that is the Revenue Minister of Karnataka, or the Waqf Minister, can this kind of a massive mutation on the farmer's land take place? Definitely. You should be punished because his officials are doing mistakes under his nose. Zamir Ahmad, Discharge in charge Minister, MB Patil should resign.
And now shifting our attention to the latest round of tensions that were witnessed between the ruling members and the opposition members during the JPC on the Waqf Amendment Bill. Now the latest round of political exchanges in fact took place during the deposition by the Delhi Waqf Board. Members argued that according to the present law, only a Muslim can either be a member or an administrator of the board. The concerned official who came as the administrator as part of the Delhi Waqf team was not a Muslim. Secondly, it was also argued that if the appointment of any such administrator can be done, it can only be done by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, and as per law, once again, only a Muslim should be appointed. On the other hand, another heated exchange, remember, took place a little while ago between BJP leader Abhijit Gangopadhyay and TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee. And Kalyan Banerjee in the latest has come out in defense and said that chairman has no power to suspend members, because remember, he, after that entire episode, was suspended from the JPC. He says only speaker has the authority to do so. In fact, also hit out at Abhijit Gangopadhyay and called him a rotten advocate of the Calcutta High Court.
जेपीसी को जो प्रोसीडिंग है उसको बाहर कोई नहीं बोलने सकता है। हमको पार्लियामेंट्री रूल का हम जानते हैं, उसको हम इज्जत भी करते हैं, लेकिन अभिजीत गंगोपाध्याय बहुत पर्सनल कमेंट्स मेरा बारे में बोल दिया एंड बहुत सा एलिगेशन ले आया, तो इसके बाजू में हम कंपेल्ड टू गिव द आंसर टू हिज कमेंट्स। I did not have any intention to throw the bottle at all to the chairman, and I express my sorry.
Well, there are several aspects and angles that need to be covered, and several developments have been taking place on a daily basis. I want to go across to Payal Mehta, who's joining us to decode all of that for our viewers. Payal, first up, tell us a little bit about what Kalyan Banerjee has said and the kind of defense he's come out with.
Well, Kalyan Banerjee has given out a detailed explanation, essentially speaking of the fact that he did not intend to, do what he did. He, in fact, when I ran into him in Parliament also, he said whatever he did he did out of frustration, because, fingers were being pointed at him, and like he's saying in his soundbite, that Justice Gangopadhyay apparently was abusing him, calling out names of his parents as well, and that actually frustrated him in a big way. Although the BJP MPs have their own defense as far as this aspect is concerned. So that's what one has seen as in respect to Kalyan Banerjee. Karnataka Banerjee was stepping out of the meeting today, spoke to the media, because several media personnel like us were asking what really happened on that day, because Karnataka Banerjee had immediately left from the meeting after his hand got injured. So that's where it really stands. As far as the JPC meeting today is concerned, Crispin, the argument was over what is happening with the Delhi Waqf Board. Remember, yesterday the whole day the Delhi Waqf Board representatives kept waiting in the wings, waiting to be asked to depose before the panel. But opposition MPs had raised objections. In fact, they had walked out of the meeting once. But today, when they appeared before the panel, they were not only grilled on several aspects that they were pointing out, including the appointment of the chairman, as to how he was able to be appointed as a chairman or as an administrator, because he was not a Muslim candidate. And as per the rules and as per the law, which is valid right now, the only way in which the administrator or member of the board can be if he or she is a Muslim. So that's something which had to be argued with. But most importantly, two members of parliament, whether it is Sanjay Singh from the Aam Aadmi Party or Abdullah from the DMK, the moment the JPC asked for the Delhi representative to put in their comments as well, these two went into the well of the meeting room, and in fact stood there for close to an hour protesting against this. And later on, they were also joined by Mr. Owaisi, what we were given to understand. Till the chairman listened to the demands, the chairman has assured them that not only will he, listen to the demands, but also make sure that, the representative from the Delhi government was also spoken to, because, these MPs felt that the comments of the Delhi Waqf Board and the report of the Delhi Waqf Board was not certified by the Delhi government, and it was misleading.
Now, Payal, given the several walkouts that are being staged on a daily basis by opposition members, the non-stop drama that continues to come to the fore during the JPC, what really is being done to address this issue? Because remember, the clock is ticking, and this meeting is to take place to ensure that all stakeholders are consulted and there's consensus that can be arrived upon.
Well, of course, that's the reason you're having discussion on this meeting, even if there are war of words that are being done. Our report is going to be prepared and the report will be placed in the parliament. So as far as the voting for the report is concerned, the BJP and the NDA have the numbers stacked in their favor. So that's something which they're not really worried about. But the government initially also wanted this bill to be brought and passed by consensus. That's the reason members from all the opposition parties, especially parties which have representatives, in the Muslim community, whether it's Mr. Mobibullah from the Samajwadi Party, Nasir Hussain from the Congress Party, and Asaduddin Owaisi, they are all practicing Muslims. So obviously, their representation was important. So the chairman has been maintaining that as long as there are members who are attending the meeting, asking multiple questions, he knows that the participation is really ensured. So obviously, you cannot expect everybody to say yes and yes to everything. You cannot expect everybody to be on the same page. There will be, of course, differences. That's the reason this bill was being referred to the committee. But the government is very, very hopeful that the committee will present its report in time. And once the report is sent to the parliament, the report will then be adopted by the cabinet, and if there are changes to the amendments that have to be made, the bill will go back to the cabinet, a new bill will be brought in, and of course it will be passed by the winter session of Parliament, like the Home Minister said recently.
Okay, many thanks, Payal, for joining us with all those very important details. Well, as for today, it was another day of controversies and a lot of war of words that was witnessed once again during the JPC. Let's also listen into BJP MP and JPC Chairman Jagdambika Pal.
दिल्ली के जो मुख्यमंत्री ने हमें चिट्ठी लिखी थी, मैं तो अभी आया, लेकिन वो चिट्ठी मुझे मिलने से पहले भी वो चिट्ठी पब्लिक डोमेन में आ गई। तो मुझे लगता है कि मैंने उस चिट्ठी के बारे में भी और कुछ ऑब्जेक्शंस थे जिसको अपनी मीटिंग में भी रेज किया। हमने तय किया है कि कल हम दिल्ली वक्फ बोर्ड को बुलाएंगे और उनकी हेयरिंग लेंगे एज ए विटनेस। जेपीसी का काम है कि हम लार्जर स्टेक होल्डर के साथ बातचीत कर सके। हमारी कोशिश है कि हम जो जेपीसी में डिस्कस करते हैं वो हमारा वहाँ का डिस्कशन कॉन्फिडेंशियल रहे। जब तक कि ये रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत ना हो जाए तब तक वहाँ की सभी प्रोसीडिंग्स एक कॉन्फिडेंशियल रहती है। अब किसी का लेटर किसी ने हमको भेजा तो वो हमारी कोई प्रोसीडिंग का पार्ट नहीं है। अब उस लेटर को कोई लीक कर रहा तो उससे हमें कोई मतलब नहीं।
That's all the time we have. We need to head on a very short break. We'll be right back with lots more on the other side when we return. Keep watching.
Three terrorists have been killed in the Akhnoor encounter. If you recall, yesterday morning at about 7:25 a.m., Monday morning at about 7:25 a.m. at the Shiv Asan temple in the Sundarbani area of Akhnoor, the first contact was made with these terrorists. Now what we know so far is that these terrorists got in touch with some locals. There were some school-going students who first saw these terrorists allegedly entering the temple with their shoes on. These terrorists, when the locals objected to, these terrorists heckled them, shooed them away. They also asked these school-going students, as per locals, whether they carried a mobile phone or not. Their school bags were also searched, and when no mobile phone was found, they were shooed away. This is perfectly in line with what investigation in other terrorist cases has shown so far, that terrorists infiltrating from across Pakistan are no longer relying on their own mobile telephony. They are depending on locals, taking hotspot for internet services and then connecting their own satellite devices or their own mobile devices and apps that they use on these devices, using the hotspot from the locals so that their location can't be tracked down. So this Akhnoor group of 3 terrorists also asked the locals if they had a mobile phone, and when not finding it, they shooed them away. Now, yesterday itself, the White Knight Corps, which was heading this operation, it had eliminated 1 terrorist, and we had lost one of our K9 squad members. Phantom was martyred when he took one of the bullets fired from the terrorist side. NSG, they're the specialized force to carry out operations in enclosed spaces. We are told that these Akhnoor terrorists are hid in a basement of a building which was inside the temple complex, and they continued to fire overnight. Initially, they believed the security forces, the 9 para special commando force, they and the NSG and the SOG of the Jammu and Kashmir police, they were all collaborating for this operation, and they believed that this will be a swift operation, but they did not want to take any chances or endanger any life there. Therefore, they waited overnight, waited till these terrorists exhausted their arms and ammunition. And this morning at about 7:25, 7:30, the second terrorist was also killed. The third one, the contact was made with the third terrorist, and subsequently he was also eliminated. White Knight Corps has put out an official word in which they have said that warlike store has been recovered. Now this is also in line with what investigation has shown so far. The terrorists in these areas who are now entering are no longer limiting themselves to high powered guns, etc. Of course they have the M4 carbines. We saw the M4 carbine getting used in attacks in Jammu region. We also saw the M4 carbine, which is a US based very sharp assault rifle, get used in Sonmarg also in the Gandarbal attack. Now what we are told is that they are additionally carrying target lockers, NVS image stabilization systems, GPS and very high tech, and this warlike store that White Knight Corps is confirming only adds to this view that this group has.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned to CNN News 18. Let's shift our attention to battleground Maharashtra's both Mahayuti and Mahavikas Aghadi still struggling a little bit to finalize on the seat sharing formula between the different constituents. Talking about the Mahayuti, the ruling coalition, they've declared their seats. BJP with 152, Ajit Pawar faction with 51 and Shinde Sena with 80. Maharashtra NDA still yet to make a final choice for the remaining 5 seats. As far as the Mahavikas Aghadi is concerned, the Congress has announced 102 seats. Uddhav Sena has announced 87 and Sharad Pawar's NCP has been given 87 seats, which takes the total to 276. For them, there are 12 seats that are still undecided. In this remaining 12, Samajwadi Party, remembers, also declared its 5 candidates. 2 are from CPI, 5 seats from the Peasants and Workers parties. In the latest twist, though, Maharashtra NDA is also now facing internal faction as Ajit Pawar's NCP and Shinde Sena have each fielded candidates Nawab Malik and Suresh Patil for the same constituency, which is Mankurd. But also talking a little bit about the MNS getting a jolt from Shinde Sena, with Shiv Sena fielding nominations in all 3 assembly constituencies where it was expected to support the MNS. I want to go across to my colleague Mayuresh joining us with the series of developments taking place in battleground Maharashtra. Mayuresh, take us through the big takeaway so far for you. A little bit about the seat sharing formula still being chalked out both in the Mahavikas Aghadi and the Mahayuti, and the several surprises that have come in just today.
Absolutely. If we talk about the seat sharing formula, Mahavikas Aghadi and Mahayuti, both of them are not revealing until this moment also. Whenever we try to call the leaders of respective alliances, they are saying you just wait for some time. We are still waiting for their official version. But what we have been told that the Mahavikas Aghadi and Mahayuti both have basically drawn a strategy where they had already given the AB forms. They had asked their respective candidates to fill those forms before announcing those seats formally. And once their form is accepted, now they will announce that what exactly is their seat sharing formula. So we are waiting for their formal announcement from both the alliances. Now, if we talk about what is the big takeaway, there are 2 big takeaways. One, MNS basically, which was looking for support from Mahayuti and especially from Shinde in at least 2 to 3 constituencies, they haven't got that support because Shinde and BJP has fielded candidates against 3 of their major candidates fielded in Mumbai, which is Worli, Shivri and Mahim. Now, if we talk about another takeaway, which is a giving ticket or official ticket to Nawab Malik. If you remember, it was Nawab Malik when he entered after he got the bail and when he joined NCP in the House. That time, Devendra Fadnavis had written a long letter to Ajit Pawar saying that it is not acceptable that Nawab Malik was facing allegations and serious allegations that he should be in Mahayuti and there is no place for him. But now Ajit Pawar has made it official that he has given A and B form to Nawab Malik, who has just filled his form, and now he's an official candidate. So how BJP will be reacting to it, it is need to be seen. That needs to be seen because the opposition, Shiv Sena, has already started targeting the BJP and Mahayuti over Nawab Malik's nomination.
Oh yes, absolutely. We've seen, this very interesting development take place, a last-minute decision by the Ajit Pawar faction. There was last-minute suspense over whether or not Nawab Malik is going to go into election as an independent or as, a candidate of the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP. And the decision has now been arrived whether or not this is going to be a friendly contest, which is not going to hurt the Mahayuti, is something we're watching out for still. Many thanks, Mayuresh, for joining us with that quick update. Let's play out more reactions we picked up.
इन्होंने मुझे 4 बार विधायक बनाया है और इसीलिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री बन गया हूँ। और आज मैं देख रहा हूँ कि जो 2 साल में जो काम किया है उससे जनता बहुत खुश है और आज मुझे उसका नतीजा दिखाई दे रहा है। जो 2 साल में 2.25 साल में काम किया है, जो 2.5 साल महाविकास आघाड़ी ने बंद किया था उसको हमने शुरू किया, कल्याणकारी योजना शुरू की। इसलिए आज ये महाराष्ट्र की जनता पूरी तरह महायुति के पक्ष में है। थम्पिंग मेजोरिटी से महायुति जीतेगी। कई लोग महाविकास आघाड़ी कहते हैं हम ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, हम चौकार मारेंगे, हम छटकार मारेंगे, लेकिन मैं कहता हूँ ये विधानसभा की जो मैच है ये महायुति जीतेगी।
से क्या मैसेज है कि तीनों पार्टीज है, महायुति की जो तीनों पार्टीज है वो कैसे आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं?
बिल्कुल हम विकास के मुद्दे पर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। जो विकास हमने किया है उसके और आगे बढ़ाएंगे, उसकी गति तेज करेंगे।
सर, लाकी बहन योजना पे आप आपकी बहनों को क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
योजना बहुत लाडली हो गई है, इसलिए हम लोग उनके लाडले भाई हो गए हैं। इसलिए लाडली बहन योजना और कई योजनाएं हमने शुरू की है। इसका नतीजा आने वाले चुनाव में देखेंगे।
How do you see, this change, particularly now that you filed the nomination?
To be honest, we've been representing South Mumbai for decades, whether we are in power, not in power, whether the government is in power in the state or in the opposition in the center. And South Mumbai is, as we say, it's my Janma Bhumi, it's where I was born, it's my Karma Bhumi, it's where we work from. Sometimes there are legislators who live in one area but they fight elections from another area. We don't practice that kind of politics. And I think Mumbai and Maharashtra has been moving ahead very fast in the last few years. There's a ton of infrastructure that people can see. Public transportation for cars. Maharashtra is back as the #1 state that attracts FDI. Almost 52% of FDI that came into India last year came to Maharashtra. So I think what we have to fight against, which goes beyond a local battle, is to ensure that this speed breaker politics has to come to an end. Opposing things for the sake of opposing is not good politics. That's something we have to fight against.
So what is your vision for Worlikars? What is one thing that you'd promise your
I
voters?
don't believe in saying this is my vision for Worlikars and I'll give you homes and I'll do this. I don't want to make false promises. What is the public's vision? That's what I want to hear. What is their aspiration for Mumbai, for Maharashtra? That's what I want to understand. That's the vision I will take to the Chief Minister. And that's his vision, that's my vision. Those who make false promises, they overpromise and underdeliver. I don't want to make that mistake.
बावनकुळेजी आमचे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष फॉर्म भरतायत. जनतेचा महासागर आहे. रेकॉर्ड मतांनी बावनकुळेजी जिंकून येतील. महाराष्ट्रामध्ये महायुतीचं सरकार येईल. आमचे ते सगळे घटक पक्ष या ठिकाणी महायुतीचं सरकार आणतील.
लोकतंत्र है, लोकतंत्र को यही तो लोकतंत्र की ताकत है. चाचा भतीजे का लड़ाई नहीं है, ये वैचारिक एक हमारी लड़ाई बीजेपी के साथ है. हमारी लड़ाई किसी एक व्यक्ति के साथ नहीं. मुझे नहीं लगता ये पवार वर्सेस पवार है. ये एनसीपी महाराष्ट्र वर्सेस बीजेपी अदृश्य शक्ति है.
And now shifting our attention to the latest announcement made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Ayurveda Day, wherein he launched several healthcare projects and extended the Ayushman Bharat scheme to those aged above 70 years. Now, the Prime Minister, while making this all-important announcement, hit out at the state of West Bengal and Delhi for blocking such important central schemes, accusing them of blocking these schemes only for political reasons. The Prime Minister called it inhuman to deny healthcare to the elderly for political gains, apologizing directly to seniors in both the states. He said the political barriers are keeping him from serving them fully. To this, TMC's Kunal Ghosh hit back, calling Prime Minister's comments unfortunate. He defended Bengal's Swasthya Sathi health scheme, saying it covers all family members comprehensively, unlike the Ayushman Bharat. He also criticized the Prime Minister's comments, called it politically motivated, and asserted that Bengal's healthcare program is more effective and inclusive.
किसी आशीर्वाद से कम नहीं होते. इससे बड़ा आशीर्वाद नहीं हो सकता. आप विश्वास करिए, लोगों को ऐसे संकट से उबारने वाली योजना पहले कभी नहीं बनी. और आज मुझे इस बात का बहुत संतोष है कि आयुष्मान योजना का विस्तार हो रहा है। देश के हर बुजुर्ग की नजर इस कार्यक्रम पर है। चुनाव के समय मैंने गारंटी दी थी कि तीसरे कार्यकाल में 70 वर्ष से ऊपर के सभी बुजुर्गों को आयुष्मान योजना के दायरे में लाया जाएगा। आज धन्वंतरी जयंती पर ये गारंटी पूरी हो रही है। अब 70 वर्ष से अधिक उम्र के देश के हर बुजुर्ग को अस्पताल में मुफ्त इलाज मिलेगा। ऐसे बुजुर्गों को आयुष्मान वय वंदना कार्ड दिया जाएगा। सरकार का प्रयास है कि देश के हर बुजुर्ग जिनकी आयु 70 वर्ष के ऊपर है उनको जल्द से जल्द आयुष्मान वय वंदना कार्ड मिले।
The statement of Honorable Prime Minister, that is totally a political gimmick. In a dramatic way, he has tried his best to confuse the public of West Bengal and Delhi. The fact is that we have in West Bengal, under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee, Honorable Chief Minister, we have Shastho Sathi, and under this scheme each and every person of a family, they are well covered. But under the scheme of Ayushman Bharat or such central schemes, Prime Minister didn't mention the rules and regulations.
आज जब एक ऐतिहासिक स्कीम का लॉन्च किया गया है प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के द्वारा, जिसमें कि 70 वर्ष की आयु जो इसकी भी है उनको मुफ्त इलाज मिलेगा, चाहे वो किसी भी वर्ग से हो, चाहे वो कहीं से भी हो, उनको मुफ्त इलाज मिलेगा। ये हमारा मैनिफेस्टो में वादा था, मोदी जी ने वादा किया था और मोदी जी की गारंटी मतलब गारंटी पूरे होने की गारंटी। पर दुख की बात है कि पश्चिम बंगाल और दिल्ली के हमारे बुजुर्ग नागरिकों को इसका लाभ नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि पश्चिम बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री ममता बनर्जी और दिल्ली के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल बीजेपी और मोदी से इतनी नफरत करते हैं कि वो उन प्रदेशों की बुजुर्गों की भी नहीं सुनते। उनके यहाँ पर आयुष्मान योजना लागू नहीं है। इसका मतलब कि वहां के 70 साल के जो उम्र से ज्यादा बुजुर्ग है उनको इसका फायदा नहीं मिलेगा। केवल राजनीति के चलते उस जन नीति को किस प्रकार से इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं होने दिया जा रहा है।
पहली बात, आयुष्मान भारत योजना का सच जान लीजिए। आपके घर में फ्रिज है, आपको आयुष्मान भारत का लाभ नहीं मिलेगा। आपके पास बाइक है, आपको आयुष्मान भारत का लाभ नहीं मिलेगा। आपकी आमदनी 10,000 रुपए प्रति माह है, आपको आयुष्मान भारत का लाभ नहीं मिलेगा। दिल्ली के अंदर, दिल्ली में जहां की अगर हमने गलती से भी आयुष्मान भारत योजना लागू कर दी, एक भी व्यक्ति को आयुष्मान भारत योजना का लाभ नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि जो आयुष्मान भारत योजना की शर्तें हैं वो तो इतनी कठिन शर्तें हैं कि किसी को लाभ मिल ही नहीं सकता। आयुष्मान भारत में कितना बड़ा फ्रॉड सरकारों ने किया है, अगर उसकी जांच हो जाए तो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को चेहरा दिखाने की हैसियत नहीं होगी।
I want to go across to Pal Mehta, my colleague, joining us with more details. Pal, it's a big announcement that's coming from the Prime Minister, and while the BJP says this is the Saffron Party fulfilling its poll promises, the opposition is not taking well the criticism that's coming from the Prime Minister. Tell us a little bit about what the Prime Minister said when he hit out at both West Bengal and Delhi in not implementing central schemes such as Ayushman Bharat.
Well, of course, the bone of contention has always been between, states of the opposition, especially in Bengal, where, of course, the health scheme has not been implemented because the state government says that they had their own effective health scheme. But the Prime Minister over here is sticking on the fact that this can actually double up as a cover for the marginalized families, given the fact that any citizen 70 years and above would be getting the benefit of this. This is something which the Prime Minister himself had announced while the BJP was releasing its manifesto of 2024 as well. So this is a game changer of sorts, especially for the senior citizens who are vulnerable a lot as well. So, but not implementing this scheme actually shows the politics that the state governments are trying to play. That's something which the Prime Minister has in fact spoken about. But yes, you've had leaders from both the TMC as well as the Aam Aadmi Party really come out and hit out at the Prime Minister and question his politics on the entire matter.
Many thanks, Payal, for joining us with all those details. With that, it's time for us to head into a very short break. We'll be right back. Keep watching.
Three terrorists have been killed in the Akhnoor encounter. If you recall, yesterday morning at about 7:25 a.m., Monday morning at about 7:25 a.m. at the Shiv Asan temple in the Sundarbani area of Akhnoor, the first contact was made with these terrorists. Now, what we know so far is that these terrorists got in touch with some locals. There were some school-going students who first saw these terrorists allegedly entering the temple with their shoes on. These terrorists, when the locals objected to, these terrorists heckled them, shooed them away. They also asked these, school-going students, as per locals, whether they carried a mobile phone or not. Their school bags were also searched, and when no mobile phone was found, they were shooed away. This is perfectly in line with what investigation in other terrorist cases has shown so far, that terrorists infiltrating from across Pakistan are no longer relying on their own mobile telephony. They are depending on locals, taking hotspot for internet services and then connecting their own satellite devices or their own mobile devices and apps that they use on these devices, using the hotspot from the locals so that their location can't be tracked down. So this Akhnoor group of 3 terrorists also asked the locals if they had a mobile phone, and when not finding it, they shooed them away. Now, yesterday itself, the White Knight Corps, which was heading this operation, it had eliminated 1 terrorist, and we lost one of our K9 squad members. Phantom was martyred when he took one of the bullets fired from the terrorist side. NSG, they're the specialized force to carry out operations in enclosed spaces. We are told that these Akhnoor terrorists hid in a basement of a building which was inside the temple complex, and they continued to fire overnight. Initially, they believed the security forces, the 9 para special commando force, they and the NSG and the SOG of the Jammu and Kashmir police, they were all collaborating for this operation, and they believed that this will be a swift operation, but they did not want to take any chances or endanger any life there. Therefore, they waited overnight, waited till these terrorists exhausted their arms and ammunition. And this morning at about 7:25, 7:30, the second terrorist was also killed. The third one, the contact was made with the third terrorist, and subsequently he was also eliminated. White Knight Corps has put out an official word in which they have said that warlike store has been recovered. Now, this is also in line with what investigation has shown so far. The terrorists in these areas who are now entering are no longer limiting themselves to high-powered guns, etc. Of course, they have the M4 carbines. We saw the M4 carbine getting used in attacks in Jammu region. We also saw the M4 carbine, which is...
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. Let's quickly shift our attention now to the latest fire tragedy that has come to light from Kerala. This has happened at the Kasaragod temple, where over 150 people have sustained injuries in a fire tragedy which took place at the temple premises. This happened when firecrackers worth 30,000 rupees stored for a Theyyam festival in a temple in Kasaragod exploded. Like I said, more than 150 people injured, several of them in a critical condition. A case has also been registered against 8 people from the Temple Committee Authority, and according to the FR, the accused conducted fireworks without necessary licenses, permission or safety guidelines for that matter. Kasaragod MP Rajmohan Unithan has also blamed the police, claiming that they were not vigilant on their part. Listen in.
Yesterday what we have realized is that they were bursting crackers. One of the crackers has bursted and fallen on the room where crackers were stored. So that is where the explosion has happened. And since people were sitting very close to the room where storage was done, that is how many people have gotten injured. That is what we have understood till now. But more investigation needs to be done. There are many changes that the temple authorities have done, which they have not informed. Firstly, they have not taken license, and they have not informed us that they will be changing this thing. They have not told us about the use of crackers, first of all. Then they have changed the place from where explosives were bursted last time.
Yesterday night, a shocking news was heard from Kasaragod district in Nileshwaram. Around 154 people were injured, and they were admitted in different hospitals of Kasaragod as well as Akhnoor and Mangalapuram hospitals. You know, in northern Malabar, it is a custom. This Teyyam festival is a custom of northern Malabar people. Police was not cautious about this this festival.
It's really a tragic incident took place because never expected such a thing by a fire broke. I think some norms and conditions have to be strictly implemented because there are so many laws are there, rules are there, but unfortunately, most of the time these are not being complied in a proper way.
So there is a massive failure of the police. And the police station was just 200 yards from the location where it happened. So 150 people have been injured, and I'm told about 15 people are serious. How come this kind of a thing happened repeatedly in Kerala? I mean, it's happened before where hundreds of people have died, but this is right next to the police station. And of course, the organizers also are to be blamed. They did not inform the police about the storage of crackers, and they did not inform the police about the crackers being burst. I mean, but the police should know. They are just 200 yards from the location. So the massive failure of the state government.
मैं शीघ्र स्वास्थ्य लाभ की कामना करता हूं सबकी। ये एक बड़ी लापरवाही है। वहां की सरकार को इस पर ध्यान देना चाहिए था। जब मालूम था कि वहां पे ये घटना हो सकती है तो पूरे प्रबंध किए जाने चाहिए थे।
So yes, a lot of blame game taking place over this massive fire tragedy. A quick break with that. We'll be right back. Keep watching.
India's only news channel with a global outlook will bring you coverage of the most anticipated American election in recent times. I'll be live from Washington, D.C.
A bitterly divided America will have to choose between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Watch me bring you updates from Trump's business stuff in New York.
India is closely watching this US election like never before.
Join me in getting that American feel ahead of this high-octane clash.
The great American election of 2024 will have a direct impact on New Delhi. Watch me decode the ramifications of a Kamala or Trump presidency on India.
Two raging wars, a deeply polarized world, and trade routes at peril. What will the newly elected leader of the free world bring to the table?
From Washington, D.C., watch me spearhead the coverage along with my colleagues. Race for the White House, only on CNN News 18.
3 terrorists have been killed in the Akhnoor encounter. If you recall, yesterday morning at about 7:25 a.m., Monday morning at about 7:25 a.m. at the Shiv Asan temple in the Sundarbani area of Akhnoor, the first contact was made with these terrorists. Now what we know so far is that these terrorists got in touch with some locals There were some school-going students who first saw these terrorists allegedly entering the temple with their shoes on. These terrorists, when the locals objected to, these terrorists heckled them, shooed them away. They also asked these school-going students, as per locals, whether they carried a mobile phone or not. Their school bags were also searched, and when no mobile phone was found, they were shooed away. This is perfectly in line with what investigation in other terrorist cases has shown so far, that terrorists infiltrating from across Pakistan are no longer relying on their own mobile telephony. They are depending on locals, taking hotspot for internet services, and then connecting their own satellite devices or their own mobile devices and apps that they use on these devices, using the hotspot from the locals so that their location can't be tracked down. So this Akhnoor group of 3 terrorists also asked the locals if they had a mobile phone, and when not finding it, they shooed them away. Now, yesterday itself, the White Knight Corps, which was heading this operation, it had eliminated 1 terrorist, and we had lost one of our K9 squad members. Phantom was martyred when he took one of the bullets fired from the terrorist side. NSG, they're the specialized force to carry out operations in enclosed spaces. We are told that these Akhnoor terrorists are hid in a basement of a building which was inside the temple complex, and they continued to fire overnight. Initially, they believed the security forces, the 9 para special commando force, they and the NSG and the SOG of the Jammu and Kashmir police, they were all collaborating for this operation, and they believed that this will be a swift operation, but they did not want to take any chances or endanger any life there. Therefore, they waited overnight, waited till these terrorists exhausted their arms and ammunition. And this morning at about 7:25, 7:30, the second terrorist was also killed. The third one, the contact was made with the third terrorist, and subsequently he was also eliminated. White Knight Corps has put out an official word in which they have said that warlike store has been recovered. Now this is also in line with what investigation has shown so far. The terrorists in these areas who are now entering are no longer limiting themselves to high powered guns, etc. Of course, they have the M4 carbines. We saw the M4 carbine getting used in attacks in Jammu region. We also saw the M4 carbine, which is a US-made very sharp-edged assault rifle, get used in Sonmarg also in the Gandarbal attack. Now what we are told is that they are additionally carrying target lockers, NVS image stabilization systems, GPS and very high tech, and this warlike store that White Knight Corps is confirming only adds to this view that this group has recently infiltrated from the Manavar Tavi river in that particular area, and they wanted to carry out a big attack against an army installation, but they were thwarted only after they fired on the army vehicle, including an ambulance. Now that these 3 have been killed, all recoveries made from them are being analyzed to understand whether there are more people part of their group. The intelligence input seems to suggest that at least 15 terrorists could be active in this area. 3 terrorists have been killed in the Akhnoor encounter. If you recall, yesterday morning at about 7:25 a.m., Monday morning at about 7:25 a.m. at the Shiv Asan temple in the Sundarbani area of Akhnoor, the first contact was made with these terrorists. Now what we know so far is that these terrorists got in touch with some locals. There were some school-going students who first saw these terrorists allegedly entering the temple with their shoes on. These terrorists, when the locals objected to, these terrorists heckled them, shooed them away. They also asked these school-going students, as per locals, whether they carried a mobile phone or not. Their school bags were also searched, and when no mobile phone was found, they were shooed away. This is.
And well, amid the high festive spirit, we managed to speak to some of the jewelers who've spoken of a booming high given this festive season. Today being Dhanteras, they've spoken of shoppers highly investing in precious jewels in gold and silver. And here's what they had to say. Listen in.
Namaste everyone. A very happy Dhanteras to CNN News 18's viewers. Today, since we have said it's Dhanteras, the name has been derived from Lord Dhanvantri. A trivia for all of you, because you know it's a festive season, it's a Diwali season, and right before that we are praying Lord Dhanvantri, something that a lot of people does not know about. It's not only the day to buy gold or silver as an auspicious activity to please Goddess Mahalakshmi on the day of Diwali that comes right before the prime day of Diwali, but it's also to impress Lord Dhanvantri, who is also the Lord of Medics as well as Ayurveda. Hence, we also celebrate the Ayurveda Day today itself. As I said, this is something that you must not be knowing, but today we are in the market, which is extremely crowded. We have come to give you the first-hand visuals of what exactly happens on the day of Dhanteras, specifically in our country. We are wishing all of our viewers a very happy Dhanteras. How are you celebrating Dhanteras from the jeweler's perspective?
It's supposed to be the luckiest day for jewelers because maximum sales happen on this day. Mostly people like to buy coins, either they are silver or gold. And a lot of people like to buy jewelry or silver utensils. But that's what mostly sells. And it's considered very auspicious to sell, to buy any form of gold, silver or precious metal.
And if I could ask you, in the year of 2024, what till now, since morning, has been the most hot selling piece from your shop?
Mostly we are selling silver coins. Maximum is that. Plus a few gold coins also. Lots of gold coins from denomination of 1 gram up to 100 grams. As per whose ever budget is what they buy.
Lovely. And if you could compare the markets from previous years, what's new in this year?
It's going nuts. I think gold is the wisest investment anybody can have. And it is expected to rise further, rise a lot further. And so is silver. Gold is now at about 81,000 rupees for 10 grams, which we expect by within the next 2 years will go to about maybe 1,50,000, maybe more than double. And silver, which is now crossed almost 1 lakh rupees per kilo, I think that should cross about 2 lakh, 2,25,000 by mid 2026.
And now on to celebrations that are taking place in B-Town. Bollywood celebrities have also begun with their respective Diwali parties, starting with Manish Malhotra's annual Diwali party. It didn't stop there. We saw Diwali being celebrated by Ayushman Bharat, Ekta Kapoor and several such celebrities. But the big ones are yet to come. We're talking about Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan hosting their annual Diwali party. We get you more details in this special report.
This year too, it's no different. Renowned designer Manish Malhotra was among the first to set the tone with his glamorous Diwali bash, attended by Bollywood royalty like Alia Bhatt, Ananya Pandey, Karan Johar, Janhvi Kapoor, and yes, the Ambani family. Then, star Ayushman Bharat and his multi-talented wife Tahira Kashyap hosted the next one for their friends and family. This was followed by Abbu Jani Sandeep Khosla's glamorous party. The same evening, Ramesh Taurani also hosted a grand bash. Then on October 27, Ekta Kapoor hosted the biggest Diwali celebrations yet, with stars like Karan Johar, Rakul Preet Singh and Anand L. Rai marking their attendance. Several celebrities from the world of TV also attended the party. Now, coming to the looks, out of so many great ones, one better than the last or next, we loved Alia Bhatt's the most. She rewore her mehendi outfit and made a grand statement on sustainable fashion.
Good evening, you're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. A 31-member Joint Parliamentary Committee was set up on 9th August this year to review the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024. The committee, with 21 members from the Lok Sabha and 10 from the Rajya Sabha, is deliberating on a piece of legislation that aims to bring in reforms, introduce digitization, stricter audits, transparency and legal mechanisms to reclaim illegally occupied properties across the country. But in the last fortnight, every time the JPC has met, there seems to be fireworks. These meetings have been marred by walkouts, by verbal squabbles, even ugly clashes, bottles being broken. On most days, the JPC has reconvened and business has gone on as usual, but these disruptions have raised some questions. Opposition MPs have accused the JPC chairman of bias. This despite the fact that they have held consultations across the country with multiple organizations and its stakeholders, and that process is going to continue well into the next month as well, ahead of the next session of the parliament, which is the winter session. So here's how it all panned out over the last 2 weeks as far as the JPC on the Waqf Bill is concerned. It started